the steward of Robert Fitzwalter. I am a knight. Do not fully have on my armor because today is a very rough day.
I thought I was recording and I wasn't.
But when you come back for the armor
But
timeline,
he is doing a spiel about Little Dunlow. It's a town that was ruled by Robert Fitzwalter in the First Barons War.
What you've seen very commonly knights doing on campaign throughout any of the time periods we're representing here. And that's that I've already put my leg armor on. So I have full mail, chainmail leggings with padded upper gamboise creases, they were called, to provide protection for my legs. And the reason that I already have that on is because this is the hardest part of my armor to put on. Everything else we can do in about 15 to 20 minutes, but it takes us about a half an hour to get my leg armor. And so in order to get ready quickly, if there should be a problem, one of the things that we see in a lot of imagery is that knights have put on their leg armor, but just worn the rest of their normal clothes on top of it until they needed to put on the rest of that armor. Now, because Little Dunlow is a small village, when Robert Fitzwalter is going to war, he's going to tell me as his steward to gather the levy. And what that means is that I'm going to gather all of the men of the village together to serve under arms. English law, a law passed by King John's father, Henry II, called the Size of Arms, said that if you were a freeman, if you owned your own land, you were required to have 3 pieces of military equipment. And this is for the absolute, and it graded based on how rich you were, but if you were in the poorest category, you were only required to have 3 pieces of equipment. You had to have a spear, you had to have a gambeson, which is a padded coat of armor, and you had to have an iron cap. So what you're seeing here are that most of the folks from the village do in fact have their gambesons, their iron caps, and their spears. However, they kept reissuing this as Size of Arms over and over and over again. And as historians, when we study the past, if we see that the king or a government is constantly having to reissue a law, what we know is that means that people aren't following the law, because they keep having to say, no, you're supposed to follow. And so what you'll see, although we've got gambesons and iron helmets,